things that's so important to realize is that this is an asset. You now own a home, so now people are going to want to sue you because you've got money. That's what they think. You don't think that, but that's what they think. Yeah. So how do I make insurance sexy? Well, it's impossible. But what is important about understanding protecting your asset is that if you borrowed money to buy this house, there is someone out there called an investor who wants to be sure that you keep the value of this property at its highest possible market value. Because when you sell it and they get their money back, they have had success with their investment. So insurance is one of those demands that investor places on you to maintain the property. So if there's a burglary, if there's someone falls on your property, if your dog bites the mailman, if you have issues with weather-related damage, as Linda was saying, having hailstorms come through. All right, with our health insurance, we pay a deductible once a year. Once the deductible is met, then we're good for the rest of the year. But with homeowners insurance, when you file a claim, there is a deductible with each claim. So if you have a 1% deductible on your property, that's typically coming up with $1,000 plus per incident. So this is something to keep in mind. So when Linda and I talk about savings, we're talking about having that little nest egg in the bank ready for those life events. Let's say you have a medical crisis. I can tell you from an experience I had last year, in a matter of 3 weeks, the cost of testing to find out I was healthy, not with what they thought I had, was over $17,000 after my deductible. And so that's money I'm paying off for a little while because those hospitals and those testing sites, they want their money back. So protecting the asset is about having the right kind of coverage, not being overinsured or underinsured. So this isn't a 15-minute conversation where you're saving yourselves $50 a month. This is sitting down with your representation from the insurance industry and saying, okay, what do I need to protect my contents, to protect the house itself, or to protect me against any kind of challenges that come at me? You also want to look at protecting the property in terms of code enforcement. You don't want to meet your city officials in code enforcement because you haven't maintained your trees that are now falling onto power lines and communication lines and so forth. You, when the hot water wasn't warm where you were renting, what did you do? Well, you called the maintenance department and you filed, a notice that you were having issues. Well, guess who's the maintenance department now? You are. So we're going to talk about maintenance in a little while, but maintaining your property is like, as my father used to teach me about the success of a car. The more you do preventative, you change the oil, you keep the tires inflated. I'm still driving a 1995 vehicle because I have maintained it well. And we do the same with our houses. We want to maintain them. That's a way of protecting this asset. The other thing is mortgage life insurance. Now, I told you, insurance can be a dull conversation, but mortgage life insurance is very important. If you came to the transaction of buying this house and you did not bring 20% of the sales price in your own money with your own down payment, the lender set up a fixed cost with your loan called private mortgage insurance. And that is to protect the investor who brought you the money. It is a way for that investor to, through an insurance policy, reclaim what may be theirs if you default and do not keep your promise to pay back. This is referred to as a mortgage insurance plan. But in the life insurance business, different kind of insurance. Mortgage life insurance is a kind of life insurance that you can purchase. So if you are a couple and one of you passes on, the life insurance policy can pay off the mortgage that is still remaining. So when you're now a homeowner and you're talking to your life insurance agent, this is different than the homeowner's insurance agent. Could be the same person, could be the same coverage and therefore you're meeting with the same person, but they're wearing two different hats. So it's important to realize that life insurance is very different than any homeowner's insurance you have. So be sure to have that conversation. If you're a single parent, head of household, you may want to consider this kind of life insurance policy if you want your children that you're raising in this house to continue to stay there. So if something happens to you, your designating guardian for those children can then be the beneficiary who pays off the mortgage, and then the children continue to stay in the house. And then one other thing I want to mention to you is homestead exemption. Hopefully those of you that have 10 years plus this is not your first time to hear about homestead exemption. But homestead exemption is your declaration to the Central Appraisal District saying that you're a property owner. So what does that mean to you? Well, in exchange for that declaration, they give you a discount on cost in your property taxes. They give you a discount. It's typically in a percentage format, and it'll be a discount in your city, county, and school taxes. So the thing to keep in mind is you want to declare this as your primary residence so that you can get the benefit of savings in your tax costs.